Is the development of Hell Let Loose going in the right direction? Hello everyone, my name is Burning Wiki and today I have a question for all you Hell Let Loose players, and that is the game going in the right direction with its development? I have been playing Hell Let Loose for a long time and I expected it would become more technical over time, but that has not happened and I am well aware of the roadmap for Hell Let Loose, but still. For example, the engineer class. He used to have a technical role on the battlefield. He was not much of a fighter, but instead he was a support class for the rest of the team. If a tank was broken down, a good engineer would risk his life to go and repair it, and that was always very satisfying. Now, any player that plays as a tanker will advance in level and gain the class ability to repair his own tank with his own repair torch. The engineer just lost one of his jobs that was so fun to do. And then the node system got totally taken apart and simplified, till the point they are just a one-time chore instead of an exciting job to do. If you are new to Hell Let Loose, you might not know that the engineer in the past could make 4 sets of 3 nodes, and the closer these nodes were placed towards the enemy lines, the more resources they would produce each time. If your team lost the terrain, all the nodes would disappear, and that gave the engineer the constant challenge to remake them. It was always a high risk but high reward job and very good for the team to receive all the resources. If you managed to keep the team's resource nodes up all game, you would be rewarded by a big experience bonus. On the other hand, it was really tough to make and hide the nodes near enemy held terrain. But now, you just make one set of nodes in the HQ, either with the help of a support class or you just simply switch between the classes and you are done for the whole game. It has been absolutely dumbed down. Then there are small other little features I expected to be added to Hell Let Loose. For example, overheating for medium machine guns, which would be more realistic. These things pump out hundreds of rounds without ever overheating. I also expect a small extra stamina sprint option with fatigue to be added. We are all now crouch running at full speed 100% of the time. Adding a fatigue system that affects gun sway whilst aiming is a must-have in this so-called realistic World War II shooter, if you ask me. And talking about Hell Let Loose being a realistic World War II shooter, glowing ammo boxes, supply and medic crates, outposts are not very realistic, are they? This has been annoying me for a while now. It seems Hell Let Loose is going more in the direction of being a mainstream shooter like Battlefield than its own specific route being a semi-realistic World War II shooter. The introduction of more loadout variations to the different classes sounded like a great idea, but one of the results is that there are now an influx of semi and fully automatic weapons in the game. Whilst in previous versions of Hell Let Loose 3/4 of the team had single or semi-automatic rifles, we went from aiming carefully and squeezing each round off carefully not to miss to more of a spray and pray gameplay. And I don't know if anyone has been paying attention, but there are a lot of players who can carry a satchel charge now. The engineer can have one, the assault class can have one, the anti-tank can also have one. It's crazy. And the satchel charges should be way more useful than just blowing up a tank or nodes. And by the way, in my 1500 hours playing Hell Let Loose, I only blew up maybe 2 or 3 sets of nodes with the settle charge. It rarely ever happens. The settle charge is now only used, as far as I can tell, in 2 ways. 1, you plant it on a tank or truck and blow it up, or 2, you put it on the ground when losing a objective or in a building as a booby trap. And that is kind of a shame. It should be way more diverse than that. For example, why can I not settle charge a bridge to defend the enemy tanks and trucks from crossing it? The engineer should be able to repair such a bridge so I can blow it up again. I am laughing, but once again, this is the sort of thing I expected that would be added to Hell Let Loose. Why are buildings, fences and other things not destructible? I was driving in a tank on Battlefield 5 and I drove through a small farm wall, and in contrast to Hell Let Loose, the wall crumbled under my tank. And talking about tanks, again, I miss the realism. If my tank has 0 track health, in essence the track came off, why can I still drive away in first gear? Why are we not stuck and is the actual track ripped off and laying behind the tank? The tank physics are also still way off. Angled armor is still really not a thing, and tank gearboxes are nothing like it is in real life. When shifting down in a gear, you lose engine power instead of gaining it, making the tank driving experience more awful than it needs to be. I also would love to see the tank commander stand in his turret, being able to use his pistol or binoculars. Again, I expected more realism to be added to Hell Let Loose as time went past. We also need a lot more map variation. I understand these maps are unique and handcrafted with love and will hopefully soon get the new Remagen map, which is awesome, but we need more variation. The introduction of the British faction will be great, new weapons, new maps, but that all depends if it will not split the community, because that faction will come with limitation unless you pay for it. I love Hell Let Loose. I fell in love with it the first steps I took in my first game. But it seems to me that instead of being a hardcore realistic shooter, as people keep calling it, it is more going in the direction of being a Battlefield without all the good game effects and coding. And unlike a Battlefield game, Hell Let Loose needs to be optimized way better. There are still a lot of rendering issues and frame drops in the game and on certain maps. Kursk and Stalingrad are still awful when you look in the distance, for example, with binoculars. The grass or even certain terrain features do not render in, or they look like PlayStation 2 quality. In a tank, the gunner can shoot at an invisible, not rendered in terrain feature and is baffled why he is missing his target. Enemy soldiers are crawling to what looks to them in tall grass, thinking they are being sneaky, but for me as a squad leader, looking through my binoculars, I can see them clear as daylight, because there is no grass. I am standing 400 meters away looking at them and it is just not rendered in. It can all become very frustrating for players. So what do you guys think? Have you had any experience with this? Is Hell Let Loose development going in the right direction? Let me know in the comment section. Don't forget to like the video, it really helps me with the YouTube algorithm. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and come chat with us on our great little Discord. Follow me on Twitter. All the links are in the description. My name is Burning Wiki, and I will see you all next time.